Hi, Ukrainian historian here, amateur historian though. Before we start, please press like, subscribe, and maybe a supportive comment, or you can leave it after you watch this video if you like. Thank you very much. Support appreciated. So, I have been observing very dubious posts, articles by the Western media lately, and right now I am really on my freaking edge because, excuse me, what the hell are these guys posting? I will not be even recalling stuff like French journalists interviewing Russian soldiers who are fighting against Ukraine and are literally war criminals accused of with proofs of genocide. I'm not even talking about that. It's obviously trash. It's obviously trash. But some things are not as obviously trashy, so I reckon they are more dangerous and I want to discuss them. Belgian media called Le Soir, sorry if I got mistaken, I never spoke French actually, says War in Ukraine. Belgium asks for clarification on the use of Belgian weapons in Russia. Belgian weapons produced by the FN and supplied to Ukraine by the Belgian authorities have recently been used by anti-Putin militias on Russian territory. Defense Minister Ludivine Dedonder and her foreign affairs colleague, can't read the name, sorry, will contact the Ukrainian authorities as soon as possible to ask for clarifications. What kind of clarifications they expect? You gave Ukraine that is in self-defense against Russia for more than 9 years and full-scale invasion for more than 15 months. You give Ukraine weapons, and Ukraine uses these weapons against Russia. Yes, on Russian so-called territory. What did you expect will happen? We will let Russians inside a bit deeper, farther from Russian border, so that it doesn't get into Russia accidentally. What did you expect, guys? I just don't understand this logic. I don't understand the double standards. For me, this seems like guys who are supposed to be professional journalists simply don't understand how wars work. Same for politicians, by the way. But anyway, let's keep reading this. Photographs prove this, and according to the Washington Post, US intelligence services also confirm this information. They are said to be Scar assault rifles used by members of the Russian Freedom Legion and Russian Volunteer Corps, two anti-Putin regime militias, some of whose members are neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis, of course. How could I forget? How could I forget? It's very logical that there are neo-Nazis in Ukrainian Army and Russian Freedom Legion or Russian Volunteer Corps. Yeah, it's very logical. It's very logical because obviously neo-Nazis are people who fight against open-scale invasions and genocides. Yeah, neo-Nazis hate genocides and ethnical cleansings, so yeah, it makes total sense to me. Yeah. Okay, let's keep reading this. Defense Minister Ludivine Dedon anyway, and her foreign affairs colleague, I can't read these names, I'm sorry, will contact the Ukrainian authorities as soon as possible to ask for clarifications. The request for clarification has been confirmed with a good source. These deliveries are intended for the Ukrainian armed forces to protect their territory and their population against Russian invasion. It is expressly indicated in the documents accompanying each delivery. These weapons are therefore not authorized for isolated groups which have an internal Russian agenda. I hate to tell you the bad news or good news, whatever guys you think they are, but, and I'm addressing the so-called journalists, of course, but these Russian Corps and these Legion Freedom of Russia, they are both parts of Ukrainian Foreign Legion. They are both parts of Ukrainian Armed Forces of Ukrainian Army. Ukrainian Army is right now fighting a war that Russia has started. They fighting a war in self-defense, protecting Ukraine from Russian invasion that was unprovoked because Russia started the war in 2014 February, when Ukraine was neutral country without nuclear weapons, with neutrality written in its all ruling documents, with society that is not sure about joining NATO, not joining NATO. There was no opinion that yes, we 100% want to join NATO. Nothing of that was reality in Ukraine when Russia started the war, when Russia took Crimea, took Donbass, started hybrid war and stuff like that. And yes, it was true for many people. Many people already were super pro NATO when Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February, again February 2022. But all of this is just outcome of Russian non-motivated aggression, and the only true reason for this aggression is Russian desire to reclaim territories of Russian Empire. And if you think they stop on Ukraine, they would not stop on Ukraine. And they openly said it on multiple TV shows, and some of politicians said so. Ex-president and ex-prime minister of Russia Medvedev was saying things that if you read Russian you would go nuts. So guys, it's very clear situation. It's an open war. Yeah, Russian president calls it special military operation, but he also calls himself not a pedophile. What? So what? Like, he's obviously pedo. And guys, when there is a war, both sides can be invaded. Yeah, it works like that. It wasn't like that. Like in World War II, when Americans landed first in Sicily and then D-Day in Normandy, and they liberated all the lands, and they then came to the border with Germany, they didn't stop and say, okay, we liberated everything, so like we cannot invade Third Reich, right? Because if we invade Third Reich, then we are same as Hitler. We can do that, so we are backing off. Excuses. So this obviously ridiculous article from Le Soir, uh, the Belgian article, is based on the Washington Post article that is called "Use of NATO Arms for Attack in Russia Raises Doubts About Kiev's Controls." The Russian fighters aligned against Moscow, who launched a cross-border raid from Ukraine into the Belgorod region of Russia. Guys, Belgorod region of so-called Russia. How many times should I... Anyway, last week used at least 4 tactical vehicles originally given to Ukraine by the United States and Poland, the US officials said, raising questions about the unintended use of NATO-provided equipment and Kiev's commitments to secure material supplied by its supporters. And the Washington Post obviously also doesn't know that there is Ukrainian Foreign Legion and that they are part of Ukrainian Army and they have all the weapons that Ukrainian Army has. Okay. Again, professional journalism, this time not Belgian but American one. What a tough video to make. 3 of the mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, also known as MRAP, taken into Russia by the fighters were provided by the United States, and the 4th was from Poland, according to people familiar with the US intelligence finding, which has not previously been reported. Those people spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive issue. Wow. And yeah, here they post also the video that Russian Volunteer Corps posted on May 22nd. Don't worry, you can watch the original article because I will leave all the links for all the sources that I have used in this video. You can watch every single word and every single photo and every single video by yourself. You don't have to trust my word. So the fighters also carried rifles made by Belgium, as the lessor said before, and the Czech Republic, and at least one AT-4 anti-tank weapon. Further in the article there is nothing fun anymore, so I'll not be overseeing this, just some accusation of neo-Nazism in Russian Volunteering Corps with source "Trust Me Bro" and stuff like that. I will give you all the links, don't worry, you can check for yourself. But another thing that I want to talk about is maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. In the middle of this video I realized, oh no, really, Ukrainian army used NATO technologies to invade Russian territory? NATO weapons, NATO technologies, they shouldn't be used like that. They were never used like that. Oh wait, no. They were used to actually invade Ukraine? Oh my god. And what you say? They were supplied to Russia after 2014, when the supposed sanctions should have worked. Oh my god, after all the aggression actions by Russia and after Russian leadership proving that it is not worth trust? Oh my god. Okay, but you don't have to take my word for that. Just take the word of someone whom you might trust. And I think that I know just the source. And our first source will be Royal United Services Institute, or RUSI. And as you can see, it was founded in London in 1831 by the Duke of Wellington, Sir Arthur Wellesley, the guy who defeated Napoleon at Waterloo. And though I was rooting for Napoleon and always will, still the Arthur Wellesley is a very, very cool guy. And here's what they have found. So, in partnership with Reuters, the Royal United Services Institute released a report detailing inspections of 27 Russian weapon systems and pieces of military equipment expended or lost since Russia invaded Ukraine. And the group said the majority of the apparent Western components were manufactured by the US companies. Yeah. So there is this huge Reuters article called "As Russian Missiles Struck Ukraine, Western Tech Still Float." And though this particular article is more focused on high-precision weapons like cruise missiles and drones for reconnaissance and other needs, but you should also know that all of these components, they are also used in Russian armored vehicles. Right now you can see T-72B3, Russian main battle tank, and you have to know that in the initial wave of Russian full-scale invasion in 2022, 1,000 of these tanks were used, and these 1,000 tanks were upgraded with a so-called gunner's multi-channel thermal sighting device. This is a key component of this tank because without it, it is unable to aim and shoot at the enemy targets. So, this device, Sosna-U, that is on paper Belarusian made, is in fact French device. All of the components are French, and 1,000 of Russian main battle tanks were equipped with this device, and it helped killing Ukrainian people, Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian civilians. And such examples, unfortunately, can be found in virtually any Russian weapon and system. But hey, one might say, components are components. Component is not a full single device that you send, it's not like a product. Even though I disagree, it is a product and it is crucial, and without this one chip or that one small optics device or thermal device or navigation device, all of source you can find in the articles. Without them these weapons are useless. Yeah, but yeah, it's not the entire system, right? So, but what if I told you that there is a NATO produced armored vehicle that Russians used in Ukraine during the full-scale invasion, and Russians were killing Ukrainians with NATO armored vehicles in 2022. And here comes another source, and I think that many of you might have already seen this source. This is Oryx. It is a website that is collecting data on wars and Russian-Ukrainian war also. And they have special article, I can say, that is called Attack on Europe, documenting Russian equipment losses during the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Long story short, it's a verified list of casualties among the armored vehicles with links to photo proofs of the each listed casualty. So these are just T-62s, boring skip. But when does this game get freaking good? Oh no, no way. What is this? These are 3 dozens of NATO-produced armored vehicles that Russians used against Ukrainians on Ukrainian land, lost it in battle, and all of them have links with proofs of this equipment lost in Ukraine? What? This can't be true. And yes, seems like some of these vehicles were sold to Russia after 2014, after occupation of Crimea, Donbass, bloody war with thousands of casualties.
Yeah.
Also not a NATO supplied weapon, but still honorable mention, right? Please like, subscribe, and comment and share this video. I would also be really glad if you have manually checked all the sources I am giving you links to. Also, please share your opinions in the comment section of this video. The opinions are appreciated. Thank you very much and have a peaceful day.